Look who's here. It's Lee Dewyze! Woo! Hey, hey.
What's happening?
How are you, my man?
I'm good.
First of all, let's talk about this incredible honking watch you have on. What is this?
Oh, this is a watch I actually picked up when I was in Seattle. So it's one of my favorites.
Let me start out. Lee, it says here, I just have this on this page, said you won, won American Idol. What is American Idol?
It's this small show. It's the show where contestants go on and they sing or something. And,
I've heard it's like Ted Mack's original amateur hour.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah.
It can be that sometimes.
Oh, no, congratulations. I didn't see you afterwards. I wanted to make sure that I get it official. Way to go.
Thanks, man.
To go through all of that. And first of all, it is more than music or anything else. It's a test for your central nervous system.
It really is.
And you passed the test.
Thanks.
So, did you ever have your blood pressure checked during all of the competition?
It was. I mean, there were times where I'm standing there ready to go on, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, what am I doing? But you know, it was the greatest experience I've had, and you know, I'll always support the show. I mean, it helped me do what I love to do.
Oh, absolutely. There's a kind of a double edge to American Idol or any of the Idol shows, because you're obviously legit. You obviously have a hit. You have a hit album. We're going to talk about everything in the album, live it up. But the double edge is you start out kind of as an amateur in the eyes of people, as an amateur trying to cut through the clutter and get in, and you haven't made it before and everything. And then when you do make it, there's a tendency to say, okay, that was that chapter, but I am legit now, so I wish you all the best, but now it's time for my career.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very thin line to walk, because you definitely don't want to make it sound like, you know, I'm anti-American Idol, because I'm not.
No.
But at the same time, it's like, I'm not going to ride that Idol wave for the rest of my life. You know,
you just can't.
Right, and I don't think that when I won the show that I necessarily won anything, really. I mean, I won an opportunity. You know, I don't think it's not like you win and then you make it. You know, you have a lot more you have to go through. It's a lot of work still, and there's definitely a feeling of, you know, wanting to be accepted as an artist and not a contestant anymore. Tell
us something, because there has to be one moment during the show where you say, you know, you don't realize this, Rick, but there was one time when I had an upset stomach, or the people behind me pushed me, or something happened that you didn't know. Is there one little moment you can share with us?
Let's see.
Because first of all, you have your first audition, you wait in line, this happens, that happens, maybe Simon said something to you or something we wouldn't know?
You know, there were a couple of times where I went out there and, you know, I was having throat issues at one point, where, you know, I got really sick, and, you know, it was just a matter of, you know, my throat's been able to, you know, take singing for years, and I never had a problem. And then when I went on the show, it was just, I think, a lot of, whether it be stress, this or that, people were getting sick, and I got sick before a couple of performances, and it was just, you know, drink the tea and do some vocal warm-ups and go out there and do it. But
that's what they tell me too. Is like when you're under stress, your voice feels weird.
It's tight.
It's tight. You can't hit the notes that you want.
Yeah, and it's just you really got to shake the nerves. You know, I mean, at this point now, I'm back to where I was almost, I could say, before Idol. You know, I mean,
sure.
Vocally, I mean, I'm very happy with where I'm at with my voice, and you know, I take care of it. And but I just love singing. You know.
Oh, I know you do. Do you work with a vocal coach?
I don't really. You know, I've you know, I never took singing lessons until, you know, after the show. You know, when you're on the tour, they want, you know, vocal people around you to make sure you can keep your voice intact and things like that. But you know, I know my voice really well. You know, I picked up some advice along the way of just maybe how to take care of it a little better. But overall, I mean, I really know how to take care of my voice, and I know my sound and what it is that it can do and can't do, and you know, I just kind of run with that.
Funny though, your speaking voice cuts through. Your singing voice is different. It has a real character to it.
Yeah.
And what advice, like, to me, if you say, you know what, if you're warming up, here's the best way to warm up, either to speak or to sing. Can you give me just a little bit of advice to pass along to people?
You know, I think that for me, sleep is key to being able to sing. I mean, it's the most important thing. I don't care if, you know, if you do a million different vocal warm-ups and all this, that, the other thing. If you get no sleep, it's your shot. I mean, it's just your voice needs time to rest. It's like any other muscle, you know. You work it out, it needs time to rest. So, I mean, I try to get a good night's sleep, and you know, don't drink too much. You know, when you go out at night and whatever, you know, have a beer or two, but you know, that stuff will dry you out.
But you see these rock stars, and they're out, and I can't mention any particular ones, but you know, the certain ones who every picture that's in every magazine is of them staying up late, chasing women, drinking. I haven't said anything wrong yet, but still.
Yeah. You know, and I would bet you some of those people probably don't sound too good live. You know, but for me, I think being able to perform live is a big part of what I do. I mean, I don't want to be this artist that hops in the vocal booth, lays down some tracks, let's auto-tune that and call it a day. You know, sure. I mean, I like to really play and I really like to sing, and I want my real voice to come through. So I just try to take care of it. I mean, it's definitely okay to go out and do whatever you do, but you know, at the end of the day, this is my life. You know, and
the backstory on you is phenomenal too. Did you actually grow up in Illinois? I know you were born there.
Yeah, I grew up there. And you know, growing up, I always, you know, wanted to do different things. And I played baseball for a long time, so I wanted to be a baseball player. And sure. I was actually going to be a fireman at one point. I was going to go in and do all the courses and stuff.
Well, look at your arms. You have the arms to be a fireman. No, look at this. You're pumped.
I'm trying.
Look at you. Do you work out?
As of recently, you know, yeah. I mean, being on the road and stuff, you don't find time for that. But I mean, I try to. But you know, for a couple months now, I've been really, you know, trying to get in the gym, work out. Just not even for, you know, physical appearance, just, you know, to be healthy. You know, I don't want to get sick and stuff like that. You can avoid all that stuff. So I try to do that. And but whatever. I mean, you know, I think when you overthink it, that's when things go wrong. When you overthink, oh my God, is my voice okay? Oh my God, it's just, you got to just be you and do your thing and like know your voice. That's the most important thing, is to just know your voice.
Well, now you've written most of the songs on Live It Up, and did you write all of them or all but one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I worked with some amazing writers and artists, but I really got to, you know, use my lyrics and my melodies and write these songs, and they all mean a lot to me. I mean,
now when you say that, like what? Are they about breakups? Are they about love lost? Are they what are they about?
Kinda. Going into the album, I didn't really think that it was going to be an album about relationships and love and things like that. But as it progressed, it kind of became about that. And I guess the album really just kind of examines love, relationships, not just from, you know, being in love, but watching someone else, you know, fall apart, or finding someone you love, or, you know, running into somebody for a second and wondering, you know, who was that person, you know, that kind of thing. So sure. It kind of just became like an album about, you know, love. And that, you know, like the last song there is called The Song About Love. And it's a pretty, you know, it's a sadder one, but but it's definitely.
Was it your experience?
Yeah, I mean, I wrote most of these from my experiences, or like, you know, people in my life that I've seen, but I think everyone can relate to it. I think, you know, like Sweet Serendipity, for instance, is about just kind of getting by and hoping for the best, and I think we all do that, you know, and I don't think any of these songs are songs that people can listen to and not really know what they're about. I mean, I want people to be able to connect with the music, you know, that's important for me, especially through radio, listening to the album, and live. You know, when I sing a song live, no matter where I am, whether it be here or on a stage in front of, you know, a couple thousand people, I always like to really put myself in that song. And when I write them, I can do that. When I write a song, I can be inside the song. I can be living that song through music, you know, and I just kind of look at it that way. I
can see, you know, and what is great about you, Lee, is that you span all different kinds of audiences. So I can see you around a campfire singing this, and I can see you in a stadium in the round singing the same songs. Yeah. And that's something, I don't know if you planned, but it worked out that way.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what that's kind of who I am, though, you know, I mean, I just love playing, and like when I have an audience, it's just, I feed off the energy and all that, but you know, what I really respect artists, like, you know, I can name a million that I like, but you know, the Ben Harpers, the Dave Matthewses, you know, Sufjan Stevens, these artists that, you know, aren't in it for, you know, anything other than they just love to write and play their music, and so I want to be that guy.
Okay, well, stop right there. I'm going to give you a quiz.